check out our shirt on Teespring.
In 2011, Half Moon Bay's City Council made a controversial yet significant decision to eliminate the local police force, aiming to save over $500,000 by dissolving the 12-member department. This move was welcomed by many residents, especially those who had long felt the police presence did more harm than good. Growing up in Half Moon Bay during the late 1990s and early 2000s, I often witnessed the police arresting teenagers for petty issues like smoking outside, actions that seemed to have little positive impact on the community. One incident from 1992 remains particularly vivid. It was a month before my junior year of high school, and I was hanging out with friends, discussing my faulty stereo system. A friend offered to help, so we headed to my house. Upon arrival, I noticed my stepsister had parked her car illegally and locked up the house. Unfortunately, I had no keys due to my notorious habit of losing things. In frustration, I yelled to my sister, who was on the second floor, hoping she would let us in. My friends and I ended up climbing through a second-story window to gain entry. While my friend fixed my stereo, we suddenly heard a loud knock on the door. 2 Half Moon Bay police officers stood there, responding to a report of a break-in. Despite my protests and explanations that I lived there, they insisted we leave. My stepsister's unfounded claim that we needed our father's permission to be in the house seemed to validate the police's focus on removing us, even though it was evident I was a resident. Frustrated by their unjust accusations, I resorted to calling them Nazi pigs, encapsulating my disdain for the city's police force. This personal experience underscores why the council's 2011 decision brought relief to former residents like me. Ordinary day, only for chaos to erupt like an unexpected storm. Despite my neighbors' reassurances that I lived there, the officers were adamant. If their suspicions were true, they would have arrested me on the spot. As the situation escalated, yet here I was, my mom arrived amidst the pandemonium. She was there because she was taking my sister to my dad's house for the weekend. Confusion lay thick in the air as the officers continued their nonsensical accusations. My mom defended me, stating clearly that I lived there, yet it seemed to fall on deaf ears. It was only when my stepmom showed up and the scene turned even more chaotic that a faint glimmer of truth began to pierce through the absurdities, blaming me relentlessly, but I stood my ground and countered her lies. To blame me grew transparent. It was clear they had no solid grounds, only empty threats about putting this on my permanent record. They were unlawfully kicking me out, making false claims, and endangering my well-being. My life was irrevocably changed. I moved in with my mom, forbidden from returning home due to safety concerns. This incident solidified my distrust in law enforcement, especially small-town cops. They violated my civil rights and mismanaged the situation from start to finish. Sharing my story, I aim to unveil the uncomfortable truth. Not all cops discrepancies and injustices exist, and they can deeply scar an innocent life.